Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we have a very special guest today. This is my sister Brianna.
Hi!
So I wanted to make this video just because me and my sister have just been through so much together. We have walked together in different seasons. She's seen me at my lowest. She's seen me before Jesus.
And she's seen me at my lowest.
Yeah.
Even with Jesus, just saying.
Yep. So that's why I feel really inspired to make this video today, because we're just going to be testifying to you guys God's faithfulness and His mercy and His grace. God loves us even though we're broken people, and it's just a really amazing thing to look back on and to reminisce about. So I just wanted to have my sister on here to tell you guys these stories. Oh, okay. I edit a lot of it out. Okay. So we grew up together, and Brianna has been saved since she was younger. I got saved later in my life, so that's kind of like the backstory with us. Brianna, did you want to like explain like your walk with Jesus, or like, you know, how you got saved and everything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like Brenda said, I was saved when I was really young. I just always had like this inner like reverent understanding and awe of the Lord. Since I was a little girl, I just always wanted to spend my time sitting at His feet and just like being in His presence. That's just something that I've always tried to cultivate ever since I was little. And you know, growing up, going to public school was a little bit difficult for me, making friends, everything like that, and trying to stay on the right path. I definitely fell away from my faith when I was in a season in my life where I was rebelling. I was with the wrong crowd. Great people, but just not the right influence for me where God was calling me. So I definitely have known what it's like to stumble and fall and stray, but I also know His loving arms when they pick you up from those places, from those pits. And that's why I continue to want more of Him and less of me. So yeah, it's like a dance. So we ebb and flow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a song today, and it's called Chase Me Down, and it's like from the album with Chris Tomlin and friends. And it's just so beautiful because it just says in the song that like God chases us down when we don't deserve it. And that's just like His grace. Like when you're His child, no matter what season you're in, like He's gonna leave the 99 to get you. Like that's just His heart. He is just such an amazing God. So, and I see it in both of our lives. So it's just so beautiful to like look back on. It was hard kind of growing up with my sister because I was very much in the world, and she had that relationship with Jesus that I just couldn't understand because it just wasn't my time. So it was hard. There were different seasons where it was hard for us to.
Yeah. I think that was probably one of the hardest things, was because I loved you so much. And it wasn't even just like a sisterly love, but there was like the deep, like soul depth love of like, this could be my sister in Christ someday. And like, she doesn't see it the way that I see it. And like, that was the most heartbreaking thing for me, was just like, this is like, I have such a motherly spirit, but like, I was just like, this is like my baby, and like she doesn't know, and like, you know, I had to navigate that, and that was really difficult for me. And I think that our relationship for a little while was kind of it wasn't, I didn't feel loved.
It was very surface level-y.
It was very, yeah, but like she's my best friend, like literally.
Yeah, we've always like been like so close,
Mm-hmm.
but this is just like a different
Yeah.
level.
There's like the depth is like here. Like any relationship that you have, as soon as you bring Christ into your life, he takes this type of surface level and he's like, we're gonna go down here now. And you're like soul to soul with a person. You're like, I love you.
Yeah. So it's just really amazing because Brianna saw me get saved. She saw the whole thing happen, and it was like within like a week I was loving Jesus, and which was, like I said in my testimony, crazy 360 for me. So do you want to talk about like where God has kind of met us when we felt like we didn't deserve his grace or his mercy, and like just like the ways that he really showed up when we were like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't even like trying, or I wasn't even seeking you, and you like you pulled me out and you like called me to yourself. Like can you think of a time or a times when that happened?
So many times. So many times, like you said, like before, that he'll leave the 99 to find that one that strays. And I think that that's what's so beautiful about his love, is that it's unconditional, and it's nothing that you have to do. It's nothing that you deserve. Like his love is scandalous. It's beautiful. I mean, there's so many times, but something that I think in my life personally, I know that like I've struggled with infidelity and, stepping outside of, my relationship. And that was something for me that was like so shameful. I carried a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and it was like as clear as day. It was like as soon as I confessed it to him, as soon as I like repented and turned my heart, he like literally like uncalloused my heart, like gave me a new fresh set of eyes, like had a desire to actually worship and to know God. And I didn't have that desire in like years, in like I don't even know, like over 8 years. And then just randomly it just like came back to me all of a sudden, and like the floodgates of heaven like opened up and like just surrounded me by his love. And like another time where I knew that I was outside of relations, like physically, with a man, and this was after I was saved, and this was something that like I've struggled with, was sexual desires and temptations. Like I'm human. And I felt like God orchestrated a certain incidents to happen that really protected me from anything going any further than it could have gone. And in the moment, it's like you feel that embarrassment, but then you're like, oh my gosh, God disciplines the ones that he loves. Like he wouldn't let me go that far, because he loves me so much that he's like, I want to protect you. Like I want to protect you, and I'm going to do whatever it costs to make you feel safe. So that was something for me that like after that I was like, God, like you are it. Like you are it, and there's like no one can ever convince me or tell me otherwise. And there's no greater love that you have except for in Jesus. So those are just the main two, I think, in my life.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Jesus, he just sees us as his little sheep, and then he's like, come on, come back here. And then he gets us, and it's just so beautiful.
We didn't know that we were going to record this today, but for some reason, like I was just like, I think that for some reason we're going to maybe make a video. And then Brenda brought it up. She's like, hey, do you want to make a video? And I was like, okay, so we're on the same. But as I was driving here, there's like a little cow farm like up on the side of the road where we live, and I saw this little cow like all by itself, and I didn't see the other cows by it. And like in my heart I was thinking of that verse, like how God leaves the 99 to find that one. And like that's that was like the image and the verse that he gave me. And like for some reason I just really feel like whoever's watching this, like he hasn't left you, like he's seeking you out right now. So just I want to give that to you, like he's right there. So yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because the way that God saved me, if you guys remember in my other video, was like I literally wasn't seeking him at all. I was in the party life. I was talking to different guys to like numb my pain. I was like, you know, using self-affirmation and everything, and like anything worldly that could numb my pain, that's what I was turning to, that's what I was going to. And then like I didn't even want to go to church or like read the Bible or do any of that, but God literally like just reached down from heaven and got my attention and like showed me how real he is and how much he loves me. And like there's no other way that I could explain it other than like God's grace and God's love of him just reaching down and just saving me just because he wants to save me and because he loves me. So it's really cool because Brianna had been praying that before for my salvation.
I remember I journaled and like, you know, I fasted about it, and I was just like, God, like you need to save her. Like if you need to save her, I need to see this happen in my life. Like you need to save her. And then like as everything was it was just like, you know, going all this like for Brenda, and
I was going down rock bottom and I just kept going. I just kept going.
Oh, I mean, not that I was like so happy that she was, but I knew that that was God pursuing her, because a lot of the times in our lives when we're like literally down here, God is like right there. So it's like that's where he comes in and he lifts us up. So
yep.
Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking, and it's like I'm in this room. I'm in my room right now, and I'm just like thinking about how I was before I was saved and how like sad it was to like think about how I would like act. And it's just like, it's just a crazy, beautiful testimony to just see like how far God has brought me in like a short amount of time. And like it's truly just by his grace and by his faithfulness. And so yeah, when I was first saved also, there was a time where like I really slipped up and I was so upset because I was like, oh no, I let Jesus down. I felt so grieved in my spirit. It wasn't where like I felt like really guilty and like ashamed and all that stuff, because I know that that comes from the enemy. But I did feel like so grieved and upset and sad in my spirit, and I was like, I just felt so sorry to God. And I remember that he put a verse on my heart. It's from 2 Timothy, I believe, and it says, when we are faithless, he is faithful, for he cannot deny who he is. And that verse just always like sunk into my heart so much, because it's like, even though you were faithless, I'm still faithful. I can't not be faithful. That's who I am. So like, I'm here for you and I'm gonna help you. Like, you made a mistake, it's okay. Just like come back to me. And that's just God's heart. And it's just been written all over me and my sister's life and our stories. We're just really grateful.
Yeah, very grateful. And like, just to kind of piggyback off of that, because for some reason I had a memory today of that specific moment of that time, because I'm reading a book by Amanda Carpenter, and it's called Soul Care to Save Your Life. And it talks about grace and how scandalous grace is, and how it is like the heartbeat of our lives, especially as Christians. And it said, like, do you remember a time where like you had to extend grace to a person where they really let you down? And like, this was something that happened with my sister, and I was very upset on the receiving end of it. And this person, you know, apologized to me and was very sincere in their apology. And I remember that was like one of the first times where I really just felt what grace was like in God's eyes, because it was like, we still love each other. This person is still in my life, this, you know, but like, we have to extend grace because that's what he does to us every single day. And like Brenda said, like, when we're not faithful, God is still faithful. Like I mentioned, infidelity and in my past, just for whatever reason, attention or like being insecure, whatever it was, what I was going through during that time, during my season, I had very bad depression after going through a major surgery and just a lot of life changes. And that was one thing that God has always showed me, is that he is faithful even when I'm not. And that's how I can stand on his promises.
I think I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
I feel like we did a good
Yeah.
amount.
That's
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So,
Can I just share one more thing? Is that possible? It's because for whatever reason, I feel like I don't want people to think that like he withholds blessings or opportunities from you even when you are not like the super Cape Christian right away. I just, for whatever reason, I feel like that's on my heart, that like when you're pursuing God, he will open the doors for you when it's the right time, and just keep seeking him and obeying him and leave the rest to him. For anyone that needs this comfort, it's Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just wanted to make this video because I know that there is some people watching where you feel like you're not seen. Either if you're not a believer, if you are a believer, if you just feel unseen and you feel far away, just know that God does pursue and that he's faithful, and that whatever season you're going through, you are seen and that you are loved, and there's hope. There's always hope. And seriously, like, Jesus has changed my life and he can do that for you too. And that's why I just really wanted to come on here and just testify about God's grace and his faithfulness. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. I hope that you guys have an amazing and blessed and beautiful day.
Amen.